Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Lens of Truth, with me, Ivan Florentino, and for today's video, I finally completed Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and here is my review. But before we get started, if you're new to my channel, hit that like button, ring the bell, leave a comment, and let's get to it. So, to get things started, let's talk about the story. Although the narrative in a lot of Super Mario games has always been light and gameplay first, this one actually goes a little bit deeper, and it's a change of pace that it doesn't take place in the Mushroom Kingdom, but instead in the Flower Kingdom.
This is the Flower Kingdom. It's made up of 6 distinct worlds that circle the Petal Isles, making a total of 7 areas.
And this time around, Mario's hanging out with his friends, along with Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Toad, Toadette, and all the Yoshis. Bowser's up to his old tricks when he takes one of the brand new gameplay gimmicks of this is the Wonder Flower, and he literally turns himself into his castle ship and starts to create chaos around the entire land and sections of this world. So everything's frozen, so... And one of the cool additions when it comes to story is just the narrative when it comes to transitions from going from one place of the map to another, and it keeps the story moving along. It's one of those small story touches that keeps things interesting and just feels cohesive. The conversations in between the talking flowers and all the new characters like the Poplins is very brief, but does add an adorable touch to this narrative. However, one of the things I want to focus on the most in this review is the overall aesthetic, the graphics, and the art style. You'll notice right from the beginning, these small touches like Mario going through a pipe, grabbing his hat, the elephant struggling to get inside the pipe, the Goombas screaming, and in general the enemies reacting to every move. This adds so much to what was missing in the past 2D games, and reminiscent of what has been done in the 3D Mario games. It's full of personality, and it makes everything feel like a 3D animated film. It's obvious that they've taken a lot from Super Mario World. That game was always colorful, it was very cheerful, there was this nice chunkiness to him. And they are taking bits and pieces from Super Mario Bros. 3, Mario Bros. 2, but Super Mario World is aesthetically what they're going for, and they're going it in a 2.5D style. Back in the day in the Nintendo Power Issue magazine for Super Mario Bros. 2, when that game was released, they had this claymation style cover that they had where it's Mario and King Wart, and then back when they finally canceled the Nintendo Power issue, they had a limited last issue of this magazine where they recreated that in a clay style. But notice the Goombas down at the bottom and Mario's expressive look. He does look a little bit different, especially because this is clay, Bowser as well. Mario Wonder has this aesthetic where it's very claymation and combined with a stop motion approach to it. And when you see the game running, it just feels like a combination of all of that, plus the aesthetic of Super Mario World. And it's just a theory that I have, but everything looks expressive and it has this stop motion look that just fits very well with the Mario aesthetic, and I just love what they're going for because yes, in the past everything has just been cookie cutter, and it's about time that they just switched it up a bit. Not only do some enemies from the Mario World game return, some of them are deep cuts, only seen in a few stages and castles. And to further drive that point, they've also been taking a lot from Mario World when it comes to the moves. For example, they finally brought back the kicking up the shell or any item upwards. That hasn't been seen in years, and that was only introduced in Mario World. It's never been brought back until now. So as you can see, Daisy is throwing the shell up or kicking it up. So that's another Mario World reference, along with the balloon power-up, which was also never brought back in this way, which was originally introduced in Mario World as well. And whether you're playing this on the big screen, docked, running at 60 frames per second at 1080p, or handheld mode, which also runs at 60 FPS, and these colors pop, especially playing on the OLED screen with those dark rich blacks and vibrant pops of color. As for one of the things that I found most disappointing in this game are the boss battles. And this involves Bowser Jr. and literally that's the only boss you fight throughout this entire game with slight variations. Although they were fun to do, I just felt like they could have sprinkled in some classic enemies and some returning ones from the entire series, but this was a missed opportunity.
Courses, you might notice some talking flowers. Get close and
onward and upward.
However, when it comes to the positives, one of the things that I felt like made this game extra special was the voice acting. And I know that's kind of hard to believe, but yes, there's these talking flowers throughout this entire game, and these flowers are hilarious. They added to the charm, to the cuteness of the game, and it had me laughing a lot more times than normal. They reacted in hilarious ways when it came to those situations, and I did not turn those off because that is an option in the options menu, but no, these made the game more than what it was. I actually always wanted to touch them and see what they would say. They were hilarious. This was a much welcome addition.
I wonder what Goombas taste like.
they more coins.
You'd share your water with me? Press R in midair. What is R?
Now, everyone knows that when playing a Mario game, gameplay is key. The characters, whether it's Mario, Peach, Daisy, or the Toads, they all control the same, but the mechanics are spot on. Even when you're playing the Yoshis, which have a flutter jump and you cannot be touched. Same thing with Nabbit as well. The overall control scheme is perfect and the gameplay matches, especially when adding the brand new gimmick in this game, which is the Wonder Flower.
This is a wonder flower, a plant that grows in the Flower Kingdom. It's said they thrive off this world's mysterious power and release it when in bloom. That's the power Bowser was after. When you touch a wonder flower in a course.
Now, these Wonder Flowers have to be found in a lot of the levels, and when they do, there is a huge surprise and everything is unexpected. It turns things into a weird yet fun experience that you don't know what's going to come next, and this is the highlight of this game.
Let's see what happens.
You could end up in a free fall.
And what makes the gameplay even more special when it comes to a Mario game is the tight controls and the level creativity. All of that with the combination of the wonder effects makes this one of the best playing Mario games in a long time. Although more than half of the game is very simplistic, it wasn't too much trouble even with some of the challenges and challenge stages along the way. Not until the very end and the special world will there be a noticeable change in difficulty. And if you're familiar with 2D platformers, there is something for everyone, but it does go slightly on the easy side. However, with the addition of the badges, that changes everything.
Parachute cap.
You can suit your own playstyle. It lets you easily swap in and out after a death in a stage. It makes for a great trial and error to figure out a challenge that you're trying to overcome. This makes the gameplay progression fun while collecting those small wonder seeds, which helps unlock more and more stages along the way. And another gameplay mechanic is collecting the purple coins in chunks or 3 larger ones per stage. Gives you a great incentive to have these little poplins, break hazards throughout the stages, buy lives, and when we talk about the online section of the game, buy these little standees to help players along the way. The gameplay loop is fun and rewarding. And no longer do we have to worry about the boring grass, volcano, and desert areas, which the themes are still here, but they are done in a completely different way. You'll never know what you're going to run into because everything looks aesthetically pleasing, creative, without a boring look that past games have had. As someone who's completed the mainline 2D Mario games and 3D Mario games, this felt like the team had so many ideas that you would normally find in a 3D Mario game in this 2D platformer, and they knocked it out of the park. The impressive lighting effects, the high resolution textures, and the parallax background and foreground look jaw-dropping at times. Very, very pretty with the bold and bright colors that Nintendo's known for. Now there's both co-op and local play, and online play. This time around, unlike the new Super Mario Bros. Series, we won't be bumping into each other, and that makes the game less frustrating and still fun. And although I didn't play the online portion until the very end, this is actually a welcome addition for anyone who needed help with some of the tougher stages where you can touch each other's ghosts to revive someone, leave small cardboard standees to help revive someone as well in tougher situations. It's a welcome addition to go online and have a community feel. It's cool seeing live players and their ghosts in the overworld map, and while playing the stages, it's actually a nice strategy to leave some standees next to pits, lava pits, or any type of hazards and help each other out.
And help your fellow players.
So my final thoughts and my in-depth review. This is a much recommended platformer if you love Super Mario games, especially the 2D ones. Now, is it better than Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario World? It's not better than them. However, it comes so close, especially after 4 mediocre games when it comes to the visuals in the new Super Mario series. This is a much welcome addition with the gameplay, the visuals, the online component, and I forgot to mention the music as well. Very whimsical, a lot of remixes from the past games, and a lot of brand new compositions. This is a must-have Nintendo Switch game. So let me know down in the comment section below what you thought about Mario Wonder, and thank you guys so much for watching. See you later. Bye.